Hi there, everyone. It's 4 o'clock in the East. Incoherence on steroids from Donald Trump today, with the whole world watching and the stakes about as high as they can get. After the Iranian regime responded to Trump's frankly insane social media posts, one said that Iran's supreme leader was an easy target. Another called for, quote, unconditional surrender, all caps. Iran responded with a resounding no. Here's what Trump said this morning about striking Iran.
You don't know that I'm going to even do it. You don't know. I may do it. I may not do it. I mean, nobody knows what I'm going to do.
Have the Iranians reached out to you?
Yes.
And what did you say?
I said it's very late. You know? I said it's very late to be talking.
Have you given the Iranians an ultimatum?
You could say so. They know what's happening. Maybe you could call it the ultimate ultimatum, right?
I may do it. I may not do it. He also says he offered Iran the, quote, ultimate ultimatum, whatever that means. Moments ago, Trump said he had, quote, ideas as to what to do. Kind of reminds us of the concepts of a plan he once talked about. In short, the United States position on the growing conflict between Israel and Iran remains as murky and incomprehensible as ever. It's not even clear if Trump has formulated a position in his mind and isn't telling us, or if we're at some early stage of that process. And in that vacuum, Donald Trump's political coalition is literally shredding itself apart before our eyes. Allies of Donald Trump are going online and on television and on podcasts and other places to lobby him. A deeply serious national security conversation is not taking place in the normal venues, like the sit room or across diplomatic channels, but instead on Fox News in primetime and on right-wing cable channels and podcasts and on X. In one corner, a good chunk of the on-air personalities at Fox News. Watch.
The third best option involves the United States of America, our military, which is equipped with these 30,000-pound bunker buster bombs capable of penetrating that mountain.
He's going to do what every president before him since Carter didn't have the guts to do. He's going to put an end to this damn thing. Let me be clear. This is good versus evil. You're either a patriotic American who's going to get behind the president of the United States, the commander-in-chief, or you're not.
Do you think the president has decided already to strike Iran?
I hope so. I hope he does. I think it will secure his place in history as a peacemaker, because after the nuclear program is dismantled, and he has said for 10 years they may not have a nuke.
So that's one side of his coalition. We'll call them the more Fox establishment-y types. But in the other corner are some of Trump's most intense and prominent MAGA personalities from the more populist wing of his coalition, folks like Steve Bannon, Tucker Carlson, and Marjorie Taylor Greene. Watch this.
I'm a big supporter of Israel.
Yes.
And I'm telling people, hey, if we get sucked into this war, which inexorably looks like it's going to happen on the combat side, it's going to not just blow up the coalition, it's also going to thwart what we're doing with the most important thing, which is the deportation of the illegal alien invaders that are here. If we don't do that, we don't have a country.
I'm going to war with Iran, and part of me was like, oh, we're not really going to do that. After we have this election whose core point was, hey, can we just pay attention to this amazing nation that we have that's suffering, and people are taking loans out to buy groceries, and we need attention and money.
The American people have been brainwashed into believing that America has to engage in these foreign wars in order for us to survive. And it's absolutely not true.
As we have said on multiple occasions and multiple other flashpoints in the Trump era, watching Trump's closest allies and supporters take to the air and fight with one another is akin to watching tarantulas fighting in a glass bowl. But it is important, and as we said, the stakes couldn't be any higher. And it is a significant political detriment to Trump and his coalition to have them fracture like this. There's never been more daylight between the two most powerful factions of his political movement than there is right now, this hour. It's a tension that has its roots in Trump's original purpose for running for president. Trump branded himself in the 2024 election, and before that as a peacemaker. Watch.
I want to see the Middle East get back to peace, and real peace, but a peace that's going to be a lasting peace. We will measure our success not only by the battles we win, but also by the wars that we end, and perhaps most importantly, the wars we never get into. My proudest legacy will be that of a peacemaker and unifier. That's what I want to be, a peacemaker and a unifier.
Donald Trump's incoherence on striking Iran and the crack-up of his MAGA coalition is where we start today with some of our most favorite reporters and friends. MSNBC senior political analyst, my friend and colleague Alex Wagner is here. Also joining us, former CIA director, MSNBC national security analyst John Brennan's back. Also joining us, New York Times investigative reporter Mark Mazzetti's here. Mark, you have a byline on today's reporting, but more importantly, perhaps, you have deep knowledge of all the players. Just set the stage for us as to what is happening right now between these two powerful countries, seemingly hell-bent on doing as much damage as they can while the MAGA movement figures itself out.
Well, on the U.S., Israel, Iran side, I mean, as you know, the timeline on this story goes back really several decades, right? Benjamin Netanyahu, who has been with us for about that long, has pushed American presidents since the George W. Bush administration to join Israel in striking Iran for a nuclear program that he has always said is weeks away from getting a bomb. The U.S. presidents Obama, Bush, Biden, Trump 1 basically rebuffed this, basically thinking that Netanyahu was not going to do it alone because he knew the consequences if the U.S. didn't join the strike. And that sort of existed up until recent months, when a number of things happened last fall where Netanyahu saw the calculation change. And he saw that, for one, Iran couldn't retaliate like it once could with Hezbollah missiles, with the Syrian regime, with its own missiles. And so Netanyahu saw a path to possibly start a war and have the U.S. come in to finish it. And so late last month, American intelligence agencies picked this up, this intelligence that basically said that said Netanyahu is going to go to war, and with or without the U.S. And that then posed this dilemma for Trump, who, as you said, had campaigned for a while on ending these wars and was in the middle of this extensive negotiation with Iran to try to get them to give up their nuclear weapons. And so here we are, where Netanyahu in some ways put the president in a bind by starting this war, and now Trump faces this question about whether to continue, and it goes back to this issue of what capabilities does the United States have that Israel doesn't. It's the bunker buster bombs, it's other things. And so to the question of his coalition, I mean, I won't profess to have deep knowledge about what might break the MAGA coalition, but I do think that there is this question that they're all wrestling right now is, what does this U.S. response look like? Is it possibly a couple quick strikes, or, which is always the case in war, right, are there counterstrikes? Does this go on for a long time? And that's what could drag the United States in and cause potentially real political damage for the president.
I mean, let me ask this bluntly. Did Netanyahu basically punk Trump? I mean, did he start something knowing very well that all of his, I mean, Hannity and I think that second figure is named Mark Levin, they've been allies of Netanyahu's for as long as he's been on the scene. I mean, did he basically understand that key figures in Trump's coalition would lobby for what Israel wants and needs?
Well, I mean, Benjamin Netanyahu knows American politics better than many American politicians, right? He knows the landscape of American politics. I'm not saying that he did that knowing specifically that these figures would drag Trump in, but he certainly knew that, A, Israel was more capable of doing real damage to Iran than it had been over the past years, because it would be lower risk operation for Israel. But he also certainly knew that this would put pressure on President Trump, who he's had this long and yet often antagonistic relationship with, that this would put him to some degree in a bind. And that's certainly what we're seeing right now.